to school and have them go, like, no, your teacher's right about everything, which I never believed.
Yeah.
I never believed that somebody driving a Toyota Camry was correct.
But you also have to think that those adults are with your children more than you are during the day.
That's right.
They're there for hours and hours
Yeah.
with the undivided attention of your kids.
That's right.
And some of them are fucking loons.
Some of them are
And
nuts.
Some of them think that they have a job to do to like remove the programming of the parents that they
Right.
don't agree with.
Right.
So they could not agree with the parents and tell the kids that the parents are wrong and they're right. Like,
Right.
Which is a real creepy thing because
Yes.
I don't know who's right and who's wrong. This is a made-up scenario, right? But just that someone would decide that they are right and the parents are wrong and they want to convince this child of something, whether it's they have political leanings,
Yeah.
whether it's their attitude on whatever the fuck
Whatever
it
it
is.
is, yeah.
Whatever it is, that someone would get into your kid's head
Yeah.
and have some very questionable and debatable ideas that they're trying to push as doctrine.
Yeah.
And that does happen. I've had some shitty fucking teachers that will just tell you that they are right about certain things.
Yes. I used to do cocaine with the substitutes at my school, and that was kind of the level of teacher we had. But we had some great teachers, and then we had some teachers that were not great, right?
Yeah.
We all know those teachers, right? We all know those teachers who had kind of an agenda. Like they
Yeah.
went in and they were teachers because nobody would listen to them.
Yeah.
So now they had this captive audience, and they were like, well, I'm going to talk. We had a health teacher like that in, high school that had like an agenda, not even like a sexuality agenda or whatever. She would just complain about her own miserable life to us. Like she would just tell us about her
hilarious.
husband and everything like that. She was going through a divorce.
Oh my God.
And you're like, oh, this woman just wants people to talk to.
And that's how she taught class?
Yeah, she just would complain about like she had just gone through a divorce and, like her husband.
And what was the subject?
It was health. It's like a fake class anyway, kind of. And this bitch would just get up and like, literally she said to one kid once, she goes, you're like a really effeminate kid. He was like, well, if I get married, she goes, you're gay. And then
Oh
like,
my God.
And then the class was like, what? And then she's like, she goes, and he goes, excuse me. And she goes, no, you're gay. And then just moved on. Like she was wacky. And I think she ended up
my
getting
God.
fired. But she clearly used her classroom as like a thing, like a therapy session.
Yeah.
Where she wasn't like going over, this was just like her. I think that my grandmother was a teacher. She was an amazing teacher. But yeah, I don't think it's appropriate like you can have opinions obviously as a teacher, but like, you got to understand that there's like certain things that, but then there's overreaction too, where I think they banned the book in Florida because it had two penguins that were dudes, but penguins weren't fucking.
What?
They unbanned the
Come
book.
on.
DeSantis gets a little wild.
Well, he's probably got some really wild people that are supporting him. Too.
Yeah, so he gets a little wild.
You get into those religious.
It gets a little cult-like.
Groups. Yeah.
Gets a little cult-like.
Very,
But
very
listen, as somebody who's been out of the closet for years and years and don't hide anything, I don't think 6-year-olds should be taught about any sexuality.
No.
It has nothing to do with their lives.
Right.
They should be taught reading, math, the alphabet. So anybody going like, boys in this line, girls in this line, and this line is for my special people, like out. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
And that's what most gay people over a certain age feel. It's like, it's silly.
And Tango Makes Three recounts the true story of two male penguins who were devoted to each other at the Central Park Zoo in New York. A zookeeper who saw them building a nest and trying to incubate an egg-shaped rock gave them an egg from a different penguin pair with 2 eggs after they were having difficulty hatching more than 1 egg at a time. The chick cared for by the male penguins was named Tango. So male Tango had 2 gay dads.
Is that, yeah, I'm trying to.
That's what they're saying.
But they unbanned this, I think. They banned it and then unbanned. I don't know why they unbanned it. The ban was lifted because I guess it wasn't explicit.
What is wrong with gay penguins?
I don't know, but I think it's an overreaction because it's
there
like
were books where they were showing like
crazy
explicit like oral sex. They were showing like illustrations of oral sex.
That's crazy. That's
crazy.
No, it's insane.
And talking about lust and wanting someone, it's essentially like cartoon pornography.
No, that's crazy, and it's also crazy to introduce the concept of like gender theory to children.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. It's crazy.
It's not fair because also
crazy.
kids are so fucking malleable, man.
They're malleable, and if they hear like, oh, there's boys and girls, and then there's this.
Yes.
If you're transgender, you'll know. You'll know. If you're gay, you'll know. There isn't like you don't need to be told that you're transgender or gay or lesbian, whatever. You don't need to be told that by anybody.
Another thing that really scares me is there does not seem to be a lot of attention made to detransitioners.
Right.
You know, when you're celebrating this one thing,
There's another side.
I feel like you have a responsibility.
Except
to look
Ben Shapiro's doing a new musical, The Detransitioners. That will be very good. On
He
his,
apparently hated Barbie.
On his platform, where it's going to be a bunch of trans people who've DJ. Well, the funniest thing now is some of the people that are critical of the trans stuff are like trans people that like have detransitioned. So they look wild.
Yeah.
And then they're on Twitter or whatever it's called now fighting with the other people. And you're like, it's like the Lizzo Fat thing where you go, wait, who's what? Like, I don't even know what's happening. But yeah, there's a lot of people that went through that stuff and went back. So to me, it's like
One of the guests of this podcast did.
Yeah.
Kristen Beck. She was Kristen. It was a Navy SEAL. His name's Chris Beck, right? And then he became Kristen, and then went back to being a guy.
That's why you can't make those decisions when you're young. You gotta see what happens.
Well, you also gotta realize that there is some very strange spectrum of human being.
That's right.
And everybody like looks, for some reason, we try to find what is like us out there.
Right.
You know, you just can't just accept whatever.
See, it's so weird because I'm the opposite, where it's like I'm fascinated by people not like me. Like I see these comedy shows in New York City where it's like they'll be like the all brown comedy show or the all gay comedy show, and I'm like, you're living in New York City. This is the most diverse place on earth, and you want to hang out with 7 people that look exactly like you?
Right.
It's the weirdest thing in our culture now that everybody like them.
Echo chambers amplified into the real world. That's what it is. And the thing about wanting everybody to be like you, the problem with that is like, what if you go up last? All those fucking dudes have They have all the material.
They've taken every bit.
They have every premise.
Every observation. Your dad wanted you to be a doctor too?
Yeah,
Like,
don't.